Hello everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 16 and compare it against the iPhone XR and see how both of these iPhones hold up and compare and just see which one is the better one for you. Now clearly the iPhone 16 I think is a better iPhone here in almost every single way. I think there are some advantages for the XR, but I would probably tell you for the everyday average person, the 16 is by far the better one. If you want to pick up some iPhones that I would recommend buying this year for the cheapest prices I find, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now starting off with the outside of both of these, the iPhone XR, which came out back in 2018, on the front side of this phone has a 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel on it. And it's a very basic type of panel. It doesn't get the brightest, it's 60 Hz, and it's an IPS panel. Pretty thick bezels on this phone with a notch. So it's definitely not the best looking thing anymore. It's fairly outdated. And there really there's not really an advantage of buying a phone like this anymore. It's fairly outdated. I think this phone was good for a time, but it genuinely does not make any sense at all. And I highly would recommend avoiding this type of iPhone unless you need like an extreme budget phone that still is kind of supported. Then like maybe this is a decent option. But even then, I do think for like the everyday average person, you probably want to swing for an iPhone that might be better than this thing. On the other hand, the iPhone 16 is basically giving you the same size display. So this one is also 6.1 inches, but this is a Super Retina XDR OLED display. So substantially better than the iPhone XR. Like this thing is a way better panel than the XR in every single way. You're getting the dynamic island at the very top. You're getting way less bezel on this thing. This panel gets substantially brighter. It's an OLED display too, so the blacks are deep black. And I do think this is a very good type of panel. Like if I'm going to go through and pick up a phone, this is a really good option that I'd recommend every single person to go ahead and buy. So without a doubt, the iPhone 16 is the one I'd recommend buying here. For the sides, you can see that overall the iPhone 16 is has a flat side to it. You're getting your volume buttons here. The iPhone 16 is giving you this action button, which is really nice to have. And you're getting your ringer on-off switch here too, which is really nice. Nothing at the very top. At the bottom, the iPhone XR is giving you a lightning port, which is really nice. But the iPhone 16 is giving you a USB Type-C port, which is way better. So having USB Type-C is really, really nice. I do like having that type of capability. And this is definitely a way better port than something like the iPhone XR. On the other side, the iPhone 16 is giving you this camera button, which is a really nice type of camera button to have. You're getting, the iPhone XR doesn't have it. Power buttons on this side. On the back side, you're getting a single camera setup in the back of the iPhone XR, which is nice to have. The iPhone 16 is giving you this dual camera setup. So I would tell you in that particular side, once again, something like the iPhone 16, substantially better here in almost every single way. Dual camera setup, so wide and ultra-wide camera here. You're getting wireless charging in the back of both. The iPhone 16 is giving you this MagSafe charging, which is a really, really nice thing to have here too. And I genuinely do like having that type of capability. And overall, I definitely will say if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, both are great. They both feel more similar than not. But the 16 definitely looks so much better. It feels so much better in the hand, and you're getting this frosted glass back. The flat sides are also way more modern. The XR doesn't seem, super cheap, but definitely the 16 is way better here in almost every single way. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. Now, another thing to keep in mind here too is the fact that the iPhone XR is basically giving you, when it comes down to it, pretty much it's still supported with software, which is nice, but we don't really know how long this phone is going to be supported with software. Like there's a very high likelihood this phone could be supported today, tomorrow. It could be supported here for the next couple of years, but it's probably not going to. It's probably going to be supported until the end of next year, maybe. So we'll probably have like another year of software updates here on the iPhone XR. Whereas on the iPhone 16, this phone is just getting started with software updates. This phone has a very long lifespan ahead of it. It's going to be supported for many, many more years. So definitely with something like the iPhone 16 is the better way to go in my personal opinion. Now on the other side, let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 16 is giving you that Apple A18 chip inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM, lots of 8s there. With the iPhone XR, it's giving you that Apple A12 bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM. So we're throwing it back quite a bit on the iPhone XR. So let's go and see which one's a faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background. So let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. So the XR already so much slower. Music 3, 2, 1. Okay, a little bit of a difference there too, you can see. Pop-ups were very different. App Store 3, 2, 1. The iPhone 16, pretty much faster there too. Scrolling through, let's see. You can probably kind of see for yourself which one is probably going to be the faster one. I always see that spider ad, it always freaks me out. Hopping out of here, let's go to calendar 3, 2, 1. Okay, 2 different pop-ups there too. Photos 3, 2, 1. And they're both also on iOS 18, and you can see even from that type of difference, I mean, that was already such a big difference there that 16 was faster. Camera 3, 2, 1. Not really too sure which one. Maybe the 10R was actually faster there. But swiping out, you could clearly see the iPhone 10R was definitely slower. Getting to some of these applications we have here. Let's try Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Now, as always, this type of game, I love testing. It's a very, very basic game when it comes down to it. It's also very interesting because you never know what's going to happen here. And with these types of games, you can kind of see for yourself that something like the iPhone 16 so much faster, even if you factor in the fact that the 10R had that little like downloading content thing, it was still like not even close probably. They're both also on iOS 18, which is really nice, but that was a pretty big difference in and of itself. You can see for yourself here that the 10R actually wasn't doing that badly, but definitely the 16 was faster. Scrolling out of here, let's do Subway Surfers 3, 2, 1. And that right there, definitely I think the 16, it's the faster one here. You can see just how much slower the iPhone 10R is. Like, it does take a substantially longer period of time for the 10R to not only get into the game, but also like load the game as well. Like, it's a pretty big difference here if you ask me. So even just from the few games and apps that we tested, you can kind of get an idea of which one is the faster one here. Like the application speeds, like everything across the board. There is a lot of difference here, and I definitely do think with something like the iPhone 10R, it's a great phone, but it's substantially slower than something like the iPhone 16. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. Now from the camera side, both of these are giving you cameras. So they're both giving you a dual, well, the 16 is giving you a dual camera setup here, wide, ultra wide, 10R only a wide angle lens. You're getting 4K at 60 on the back. The 16 can do 4K at 60 on the front. The 10R can only do 1080p at 60. So those things are a pretty big thing to keep in mind. On top of that, the iPhone 16 is giving you that dedicated camera button there, which is a really nice button to have. And personally for me, I like having that because it allows you to go and basically just have it there, which again is a very, very nice thing to have. Now between both, you are getting, you're getting 10x zoom on the iPhone 16. The iPhone 10R doesn't even show you how much zoom it has in it, but it's probably like 3x or something like that. Both have portrait mode inside. You are getting the spatial mode inside of the iPhone 16, which is very nice to have. Slow mode, cinematic mode on the iPhone 16, the 10R doesn't have it. So overall, you're definitely getting almost in every single way a substantially better performing camera on something like the iPhone 16 than for something like the iPhone 10R. So kind of keep that in mind. Overall though, what I'll definitely tell you is when it comes down to both of these, definitely a phone like an iPhone 16 is the better one in almost every single way I can imagine, right? If I'm going to recommend a phone to people, it's going to be the iPhone 16. Better display, better cameras, better performance, longer lasting phone, better battery life, better everything. The 10R's main advantage is price. If you want a phone for a cheaper price, then go for something like the 10R. But the 16 is in every way a better phone in my personal opinion. But you can also buy something like an iPhone 14 or an iPhone 13, and I think that would also be a really big upgrade coming from the iPhone 10R as well. So the choice is yours, but that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.